What's up, guys? Today I want to go ahead and give you just a brief demonstration of the all-new Luminar 4 software, specifically for real estate photography and doing sky replacements. So I think for most people, a good sky replacement probably takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, give or take, depending on how often you do it and your skill level. So I want to give you just a real world scenario here of a few different photographs, including this one that you can see on the screen. And before we get started real quick, I just wanted to say that I am in no way affiliated or sponsored by Luminar. I bought this software on my own, and this is just my first time using it, and I thought that I could help those of you out there that weren't sure if you wanted to pull the trigger on this software or not. So hopefully at the end of this video, you'll be able to determine if this software is worth buying or not. Alright, so here's the next photo. Again, this is nothing spectacular. This is not a client photo, obviously, but I wanted to show this off because it's got an aluminum roof, which a lot of houses do. So the sun was really bright on this roof. It's kind of overexposed there. And the sky, of course, is just really bad looking. So we're going to right-click, Edit In, and open the Luminar 4. We'll go ahead and edit. And again, we'll go right over here, click our AI sky replacement. We'll just click Blue Sky 1. And there we go. So did a good job with the clouds. I'm pretty happy with actually what it did over here by this tree. This all looks great, but we've got one problem. It thought part of the roof was the sky. So you may run into that. We can again go to edit the mask here. And let's see if we erase. Let's see what this does. Yeah, there we go. So we just erase that there. And yeah, we'll click done. Zoom back in. This still looks like there's a little bit of a blue haze there, but again, I'm really new to the software, so I'm still kind of trying to figure this out. But I wanted to show you, for the most part, how quick and how good it does around trees. And this looks really good. You can even see these tiny little gaps up here that have the blue sky instead of the dark sky. Same back here. You can see these tiny little gaps in between the tree. With how good that it actually did. It could be feathered a little bit better here. This is obviously a darker sky right here. So this is kind of a cool thing. You can actually click flip sky, and all it did was just rotate it a full 90 degrees there. Alright, so this sky looks pretty good, but we do have some problem areas. It threw part of the sky onto the roof. So again, that's one of the things that I feel like it does a great job around the trees. I'm really happy with that, but just be prepared to have some issues on roofs that have lighter colored roofs because it thinks that it's part of the original sky. So you're going to have to go in and edit the mask. We'll choose a brush and we'll click erase. And you can just kind of erase this out. Anything that was on the roof you can get rid of. Again, your shortcut keys are the same as in Photoshop and Lightroom. So if you choose your bracket keys, you can change the size of the brush head. Let's see. O does not work like it does inside of Lightroom and Photoshop. But basically, I'm just continuing to brush through here to get rid of the sky on the roof. Okay, we'll click done. So that looks a lot better. So it's still so much faster than my previous method that I was using of doing sky replacements. Obviously, I could take a little bit more time here on this, but I'm trying to keep this as brief as I can while giving you a good overview of how this actually works. So the roof looks better, and as you can see, if we pop in on the trees over here, it does such a fantastic job around trees, which is really just the Achilles heel, if you will. Again, it does a terrific job back here in these trees. You can see right through the leaves. You can't really tell. Like, I have a hard time distinguishing that this was not the original sky. And, you know, if us as photographers can look at this and go, I really can't tell if this was swapped or not, or at least come fairly close to that, then, you know, again, it's not something that the general public is ever going to see. So here is the sky swap. Here's before. Sky swap. Before. So I got sloppy with the brush over here. I can see this. I'd fix this, but again, this is not a client photo. It's not something I ever plan on delivering. So we'll just cancel out of here and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so here's a beautiful looking home that we are going to edit in Luminar 4. Okay, so same thing, we're gonna just go right over here to the creative panel and choose Blue Sky 1. And boom, there it is. That's kind of cool. Didn't notice the bird. Let's go to the original. Oh, there was a bird in the original. I didn't realize that. That's kind of cool. So it was smart enough to leave the bird. That may or may not be something that is that you want in yours, but I think it's kind of cool. It was smart enough to distinguish that there was a bird in the sky and it went around it and left the bird, swapped my sky, and did a pretty good job of swapping the sky if you ask me, because just from first look, it looks pretty good. I think I got a problem on the roof again, just a little bit of shadow maybe in this area, blue shadow. But so far that seems to be the common trend. But basically for one click, I haven't done any editing, and this looks pretty darn good. And we can just click out on brush and then erase the roof area. Again, you can use your bracket keys just like you would in Photoshop. And yeah, just a bit. It does have a hard time with roofs so far, at least here in Florida, the roofs that we have with these shingles. There we go. Click done. So now if we do a before and after, I could probably still clean up. Looks like there's a bit of blue here, but overall, I think that that does a really good job. So I really think that the cost of the software just for the sky replacements makes it worthwhile, especially if you're a real estate photographer and you're doing this day in and day out. I do this part-time, and even the times that I do it, I mean, when you're taking, 10 or so exterior photos on a cloudy day, it just takes some time to actually get in there and change these skies. And now you can just about one click some of these and be completely done with it. Or at least just a couple of clicks, do the swap, edit the mask, do a brush, erase, and just, quickly erase anything onto the roof, especially on this small house. And then you're done. And again, here's your before. There's your after. So again, it does a great job there. Let's move on to the next. Okay, so here's a nice house. I thought this one looked pretty nice. We will edit this one. Let's go with a dramatic sunset. All right, we'll just leave it on that one. So this one actually, at first glance, looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a before and after. The roof on this one looks good. I'd like to think that maybe because this roof is a little bit darker, from what I can tell so far, just in a few images, it's having a hard time with lighter colored roofs, so just keep that in mind. But this one looks good. Let's go ahead and zoom in on these trees. As you can see, in between each one of these branches, did a great job, really good job. Yeah, I mean, these little palm fronds are really difficult to work with for those of you that have had to do them before. It's a pain in the butt. The flagpole looks terrific. I mean, it just looks great. This one is one of those that literally, aside from finding the sky that you want to swap, is literally just a one click. You can just say it's done. We're going to apply this here. And once you click apply, it's actually exporting the image. I think it's going to put it right back into Lightroom for me. Let's see. Yep, so what it did is it just took the image and popped it right back in as a TIFF file. I'd highly recommend that, of course, you do your edits to the photo before you move it over into Luminar. I did not do any editing here because now if I go to do any edits, it's going to change the sky a little bit. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. But yeah, I would do any kind of edits prior to putting it over into Luminar. Let's go ahead and do this photo. As you can see, this is a beautiful sky. Actually, the sky was kind of beautiful, just not here because the sun was right up here and it just killed everything. So the rest of the house looked well, but these back of the house photos were really difficult to deal with. So let's see what we can do. I remember editing this photo, and I would say it probably took me a good 5 to 7 minutes to replace the sky last time. So let's see how it does right now. Let's just go ahead and pick sky selection. Blue sky 1. Boom. That looks a lot better than I would have done in 5 to 7 minutes, actually. just to be honest. I could have probably got these results as well, but for the sake of getting this done, this looks pretty good. Like I said, the common trend here, the only thing I would probably do is just clean up, these roof lines here. That's it. And that photo, to me, I would be pretty happy with delivering this photo. I think it looks good. Here's a before and after. I'll do a little slider. Before and after. Before and after. I think that it does a great job. And like I said, I basically did buy this software for whenever I'm doing sky swaps because I just don't feel like manually doing this stuff. Basically 5 to 10 shots at minimum on exteriors. It just takes too much time and bites into the profit margin. So this may not be perfect every single time, but I'll tell you what it does so well over around these trees, I can always spend more time and clean up around the roof line. I'm very happy with this photo here. So here's a look at the finished photo here, full screen. I think it did a terrific job. Again, I would have no problem with delivering this photo to a client. I think it did a terrific job. So that's that one. So this is the final photo of this house. I think it did a wonderful job. Again, this photo isn't fully edited, but I did want to just showcase this because this was a pretty dull, yucky sky, and it turned into what I actually feel like a sky that fit the scenery right. I think it looks great. All right, let's go ahead and pull this photo over into Luminar. This was not a bad sky. It just doesn't have any clouds or any drama to it. So this is one that I feel like could be enhanced for sure. That one's pretty good. I think I like that one. So just at first glance, it did a terrific job. Really good. Let's go ahead and just... Honestly, I think I'm fine with leaving that just the way it is. I think that looks terrific. So just taking a look over here by these trees, that looks terrific. The roof line looks awesome. Everything looks good, even this little tiny gap right here in between the little drain. So let's go ahead and hit apply, and it's going to send this photo right back over to Lightroom for us. So as you can see, this one did a much better job, I think mostly because of the darker roof. I think that the photo overall fits the feel and the vibe of this home, and the colors of the front of the house look pretty similar to the colors of the sky that were actually on the day of the shoot. And this was truly just a one-click done. Boom. Looks great. I think that it nailed it. It's not going to do this every time, but as you can see, when it nails it quickly and efficiently. And to me, again, this is well worth it. The time that you're going to be able to save in doing your sky swaps is probably going to make, pay for this self. Just a couple of houses worth of editing on a rainy day or a winter day. It's definitely going to be worth it. So as you can see, the results kind of speak for themselves there. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap this video up. I hope that this gave you a good idea of what the software is capable of, specifically for the real estate photography and doing sky replacements. I think that it's well worth the cost alone just for the sky replacements feature, because it's, like I said, it's going to help you be able to save more time, and more time equals more money. If this video was helpful to you, make sure you like and subscribe before you get out of here, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.